So the first thing I would do is I would just start with something. So I would say start with having your writing online and have an online presence. So whether that's creating a blog or writing for someone else, you just have to write. And the hardest step is the beginning, just putting your stuff out there.
Hey, Dr. Bill Dorfman here with another Meet the Mentor. I have Carina Wolff here, but before I say anything, I just want to remind you, LEAP is coming up fast, July 23rd to the 29th at the beautiful UCLA campus. So let me tell you a little bit about Carina. Carina Wolff is a health and wellness writer with a successful blog called Kale Me Maybe, and a cookbook called The Spiralizer, which she'll explain to you what that is, because I'm not a cook and I didn't know. And she also has her second cookbook that's launching this year. She went to New York University to study journalism and psychology and started Kale Me Maybe to help others learn about nutrition and easy to make tasty recipes. Carina, welcome to Meet the Mentor. So how did the whole blog thing start?
Well, I always loved writing from when I was a young girl. All the way through high school I did it, in college I did it, but I didn't know what I wanted to write about. And I didn't really figure that out until about my senior year of college. I was a journalism major, and at NYU you have to pick a second major if you're a journalism student, because they want you to really focus on something that you're an expert in. So at the time I chose psychology, and I loved it, but I wasn't sure that was 100% what I wanted to write about. And it wasn't until I started to form my own habits as an adult in college that I realized I was really passionate about health and eating well and taking care of myself. And I thought this would be really cool to tell other people about this, because I feel like I didn't have the information I wanted when I was 18. And I decided that was what I wanted to do. But I was a senior, hadn't really had much experience in it yet, and I wanted to apply for internships and jobs, and I thought I should start my own blog as a portfolio of my writing about what I've learned and what I read about, so that when I do want to write this professionally, I'll have a little portfolio and something that people can look at. And I started my blog. I got really good feedback from my peers, from my family, and I got my first internship from it, and then from there it kind of just grew into its own.
So I just looked at your blog, and you have all these like delicious pictures of food. So you take the photographs, you write the blogs, and what you do is you normally post this on Instagram, right? At Kale Me Maybe.
Exactly.
And if people want to get the recipe, then they can go to your blog and get more information. Now, what if an idiot like me who has never like cooked anything in their life wants to do this? Are these hard?
No, and that's kind of the point of what I want to do, is I want an average everyday person who's not a cook and feels like they're a little lost in the kitchen, whether it's because they don't know how to make something or they don't know what's good for them. I want these to be recipes that you could go to any grocery store and get the ingredients. You don't have to go to Whole Foods or the farmer's market, and you could put it together really quickly on your lunch break or before you go to work or school, or at night when you're just trying to unwind. They shouldn't be complicated. They should be accessible to everyone.
And you're also doing health and wellness interviews with, different kinds of professionals. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so right after I started my blog, I wanted to also write for other websites and kind of take it to a more professional journalism level. So I started writing for Bustle, which is a female website. It's got pretty big over the past few years, but I started just as a nutrition writer there, and they grew and I grew with them, and I eventually became a health and wellness writer for everything health and wellness. So I write about stuff, food, fitness, mental health, relationships, anything that is like self-care or your own wellness. And I interview people to write these stories. So I interview doctors, experts, I research peer-reviewed journals, I go all over the internet to find reputable information about health and wellness that I can put so I can give accurate information to other people online.
What are your favorite things to write about?
I love writing about the connection between nutrition and mental health. Those are my two big passions, I would say, the psychology and the food. But I had no idea up until pretty recently that what you eat is more than just your weight. Obviously, that's a big part of it, but the foods that you consume and the activities you do, whether it's exercise or spending time with your friends or meditating, whatever, it affects everything in your health, not just what you look like. And I think a lot of people struggle with depression, anxiety, stress, anything. Like, everyone has their own issue. But you can help that. I don't want to say completely fix it, but you can make yourself feel a little bit better by eating the right things, taking care of yourself. And there's a lot of science that backs this up, and a lot of people don't know that. So that's my favorite thing to let people know, is that if you're feeling stressed, maybe you need to incorporate more of these nutrients into your diet. Maybe you're eating too much sugar or drinking too much alcohol. You don't have to cut it out completely, but just shift things to help yourself feel a little bit better.
If we have a student out there that really wants to get into this world, whether it's health and wellness or doing any other kind of blog, can you kind of give us a step-by-step on like what you need to do first, second, third, and kind of give them a roadmap to success in that?
So the first thing I would do is I would just start with something. So I would say start with having your writing online and have an online presence. So whether that's creating a blog or writing for someone else, you just have to write. And the hardest step is the beginning, just putting your stuff out there. Then after that, it's really about trying to spread your work and make it as reachable as possible. So that's where Instagram came in for me. That happened to be the place where I got the most traction and got the most people to come look at my page. But for some people, they have Tumblrs, or they use Twitter, or Facebook is their thing.
So would you say Instagram is the strongest, and then what, Pinterest, or?
Yeah, I think if you're doing food, Instagram is the spot. That's where most of the big bloggers are. Pinterest is great because it's photos, and when I'm looking for a recipe on Pinterest, if it looks good, I click on it. So that's an easy one. And I think it depends on your field, but for something so visual like food, anything that's image-based is where you want to be.
So you brought a copy of your book,
Yes.
The Spiralizer Recipe book. Now, for those of you who don't know, like I didn't know, this looks like it's been spiralized,
Exactly.
correct?
Yeah, so this has been spiralized. These buns actually have been spiralized. These are beets that are spiralized, and this is actually a potato that has been spiralized and formed into a crust to make a pizza.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So here's the big question. What's next?
What's next? I really want to write a book that is all my signature recipes. So these have been themed books. This is a spiralizer one. The one that I have coming out in the winter is going to be plant-based proteins. So those are very specific, niche books. But I really want to do one that's Kale Me Maybe and have all of my most popular recipes perfected. Take a longer time to do it. I mean, a couple months is pretty quick, and not really my choice, but a good thing. And I also really want to grow my brand so that it is my recipes, but also articles that I write just for my website, and maybe eventually hire other writers and kind of become more of an editor and grow this Kale Me Maybe network to be not just food, but all the other health and wellness things I write about for other people.
Well, Carina, thank you so much. We're really excited. LEAP is coming up July 23rd to the 29th. I'd love to have you come and be a mentor at LEAP on Friday. We'll have 100 different professionals sitting there talking to students, from doctors and lawyers and firefighters and screenwriters and actors and you name it. But I would love to have you there and have the students get a chance to meet you in person.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Till then, Dr. Bill, over and out.